I mean,
He is, because Beyonce is his wife and she is our majesty.
okay, but
the queen bee. Okay, no,
Prince
I already know
Phillips
you can't say
is not the
that.
king.
Rest in peace.
You can be married to the queen and not be the king.
Presidents to represent me. I'm out for presidents to represent me. I'm out for presidents to represent me.
What's up, Janelle?
Hey, Broncy.
How is it going?
It is going per usual.
Right? I think we can pre-record our opening and just every time,
right, because it's the same thing every time. Well, as you see, I have a different background this time. I finally came back from Miami.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. Everybody keeps asking me, like, why'd you come back? And I'm like, I don't really know.
You came back to check on your space, pretty much, because you're literally turning around and going back next week.
Yep. I go back on Friday, but only for a couple of days. I'll be, and then I leave for another trip, and then I'll be back.
You're going on a? Oh yeah.
I'm going to Mexico. I'm vaccinated and out in these streets. Clearly.
I'm going to Miami the same time you are too.
Yeah, we'll be linking up down there.
So that's
gonna be fun. Yeah, but got here and then like kind of hit the ground running. I've been super tired just because I haven't been here for so long. Then I'm like, okay, I'm back, and it feels like there's a lot of like business stuff that needs to be taken care of, and I'm like, I need a new couch. I don't need a new couch. I need a new couch. Yeah, I gotta go get that. I gotta run out here and get this. I gotta do that. I just been like all over the place. Have a lot of friends that are leaving the city, so a lot of like going away parties and stuff. Yeah. Like even today, I'm like looking at the clock, like, okay, I gotta make it across town for this thing and that thing.
Today too?
Yeah, later on. But it just feels like as soon as I landed back in New York, it was just like the hustle and bustle, like
back to the grind.
Started right back up
for you, right?
How about you?
Yeah, I'm cool. Looking forward to getting away. I know Miami's home for you, but for me, I'm literally getting away to unplug. So this is gonna be a nice, quick little trip. I'm going to celebrate one of my friends' birthdays. That's exciting. And then looking to take another actual vacation soon, kind of like you are. So Mexico maybe. I know Mexico is tired because every time
they gotta be tired.
See, and that's social. Every time I look on social, everybody's in. Are you either in Tulum, Cancun, obviously. Like everybody is going to Mexico. I don't know if it's because Mexico is one of the places that's open or most safe, but even last year during the pandemic, I went to Mexico.
Yeah, but even before the pandemic, everybody was going to Tulum and stuff. So I like, when people are talking about it, I'm like, I'm not going to Tulum. I'm not like these hoes. I'm going to Mexico City.
Okay, yeah, I don't see
like that's different.
So that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
I need me a beach, so it ain't.
There's beaches in Miami. I'm like, I'm not leaving one beach.
Well,
to necessarily go to another.
That's the pleasure of having a home base in Miami, where I'm not moved by beaches. Anyway, all right. So we are here, episode 29 of Witcha Black Ads. We have a couple of things that we're moving and shaking. It's been a couple of weeks since we recorded. But it hasn't been a ton, surprisingly. But we have some stuff to get into.
Yeah.
Jump into Above the Fold?
Let's do it. First item on Above the Fold is that Clubhouse has announced their finalists for their Creator First project. I think we talked about this like a little bit a couple of weeks ago, where basically, Clubhouse being new kid on the block, a lot of creators already having their communities on other platforms. How was Clubhouse going to continue to foster that community on their platform, kind of lure creators away from other platforms and build Clubhouse? And so they announced that they've partnered with a lot of these content creators for audio series on their platform. And they range from everything from, like comedy kind of talk shows to body positivity talk shows to beauty conversations. And it's a long list of creators that they're working with. I think it's like, it's from 50 to 100.
The history of hair.
Yeah,
The
they have a
sound
lot
of
of,
Sound Club. Yeah, it's a lot.
yeah, it almost reads like a long list of like a podcast network, honestly. So, I mean, I thought that, of course, this is smart for them because the conversation around Clubhouse is kind of started to wane. Like, I think some of the allure of it, just the newness of it,
The
the novelty of it is
exclusivity.
worn off. Yeah, has worn off. And so, a lot of people are like, what has Clubhouse's time, passed? I don't know. I don't know if this can necessarily switch that conversation, especially because a lot of these other platforms have incorporated like audio features onto their platforms, and they
Right.
already have the communities there. But we'll see.
I think, yeah, there's a couple of thoughts here. Yes, it does read very much like a podcast show list. Why would anyone go to Clubhouse to consume this sort of content? So I'm a novice in Clubhouse. So is it a thing where you can listen like a podcast? So can you have the app closed and it be playing in the background? If they can
Well,
incorporate something like that, or if that does exist, I think that may be beneficial. But I'm thinking, for me, I'm not going to sit with my Clubhouse app open and listen to 2 hour long conversation. You know what I mean?
so you can already close the Clubhouse app and still listen to the conversation that's going on.
Right.
A couple of things though that are not clear here is like, are these conversations going to be live? Will people be able to like revisit them, or is it like if you missed it live, that's it?
Right.
But
Because that is a real constraint.
Yeah, it
Because
really is.
especially if you have multiple things that you want to listen to, you have to think a lot of these things probably are going to overlap. But even if they don't, you can't spend your life sitting on Clubhouse, and it has to be digestible when you're ready to digest it. What was your
Yeah.
next point?
My next point was that it's funny that you say I'm not going to sit here with this app open and listen to this when you think about how we put out our own podcast. I mean, outside of it being on audio streaming.
But see, that's why we have two ways and methods of doing
true,
it.
true.
So if
So
you
maybe
can't,
they
it's
let them.
like,
Yeah, so maybe they let them like you can record and maybe it's live on Clubhouse, but then you still get the audio and you can upload it on. I don't know. I personally think Clubhouse might be over.
well, I hate to say I told you, but that's the kind of feeling I've always had about it. And I think it was a good idea. At least it's lasting longer than Quibi.
R.I.P. Quibi. And at least they started, unlike Black Planet. Don't get me started on Black Planet.
Oh yeah, we don't gotta touch on that. But Black Panther, they are such a miss, especially during the heightened experience of Black folk and the push behind a lot of Black initiatives.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I wouldn't even be as mad if they didn't come out and start saying like, oh, wait till it's almost a year later.
It is.
What are y'all doing? But anyway, back to Clubhouse though. I think that, obviously the other, again, nail in the coffin for Clubhouse, and I hate to put it like that because I do hope that this does, maybe they need to pivot,
They'll be fine.
whatever.
They'll be fine. I think they're going to innovate.
Yeah, but it's just that like, I don't think that they had enough features that were ownable enough to them that, that you see with Twitter having audio spaces and Facebook is coming out with them and all of these kind of things that it makes sense to be on Clubhouse anymore.
Right. I think they're doing a lot of testing and learning, and they didn't, like you said, they didn't have a lot of construct that was ownable by them. And at this point, they're trying to catch up to say, what can we do? How can we make this sustainable? And that's where we're seeing these sorts of efforts come out. Even with bringing or the hiring that they're doing, they're really trying to figure out how can we make this work. So we'll see.
Yeah. Moving right along, I don't know if you saw the latest Adweek cover.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so it's celebrating like I guess social media stars and things of that nature. But Travis Scott was on the cover, and they were kind of talking to him. Obviously, it's Adweek, so they were talking to him about advertising and marketing. And he's someone that we've talked a lot about on the podcast over the past. I mean, since we really started the podcast, with all that he had going on, from his McDonald's stuff to Fortnite to his new
Sprite,
hard seltzer, all of that kind of stuff, right? But I thought it was funny because in this article, he basically says like he doesn't like branding and marketing. And okay, like when I was reading this article, it really reminded me of like Kanye's time, you know, when he was going on his rants about like fashion and like Disney and all. I don't know. Obviously, he wasn't as manic, I guess, extreme with it, right. But it kind of gave me that sense. And then even some of the quotes that he has in this article about just like his feelings towards marketing and advertising, I was just like big eye roll. Like he says, I'm trying to bring a utopian effect, hoping to inspire the next person to just get creative or even just live their life in an aesthetically pleasing, vibed out way. Huh? Nigga, just sell the damn...
Hold on.
Just sell the damn McDonald's meal. An aesthetically pleasing, vibed out way. What does that mean?
It doesn't mean anything. First of all, he's saying that he doesn't like marketing and branding. Just because you don't know the definition of it doesn't mean you don't like it. And I think
clearly he likes branding.
He definitely likes branding. He loves branding. If he didn't love branding, he would not put so much attention and intention behind anything that he puts out or his partnerships or bringing his own personal brand into the partnerships that he's involved in.
Exactly. You see the cactus plant little handwriting everywhere.
Literally, that is branding at its core. Even in the article, they mentioned when he released an album in 2015, he wanted to release it on Rodeo on USB rather than traditional CDs. And along with the USB, he wanted an action figure. That is branding and marketing. That's product placement. That's positioning. All of that is marketing. I think because he doesn't know the terminology and may not have the formal skill set of marketing and branding, he doesn't associate the two. He just thinks, oh, these are my thoughts. This is creative and this is how I execute. But
but you're executing that creativity to get people to do a thing and pay for things. Therefore, it's marketing. And I think to your point, like he just doesn't know that that's what that is. Or he has this like, I think like people outside of the industry have a general perception of like what marketing is, and it has a negative connotation. And so he's like, oh no, like I'm authentic. And like, no, this is not that.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that angle too. But either way, you do good at it. So it's not a thing where it's anything that's negative. If it is something that you like or are leaned into, Travis, but you're definitely a fan of marketing and branding. And you, as far as we can see, you're excelling at it.
Yeah. Lean in, own it.
I wonder how much of these things though are his own. Do you think, as he approaches these partnerships or when he's putting out these things or drops or partnership with Nikes, is he in the room developing and creating and positioning how he wants to execute? Or is it the brand or is it the agency or is it a collaboration? Because if that's the case, then it may be true.
The thing is, like, I don't know for sure, but just from his music and just like the detail that he puts into the music and the aesthetic or whatever, I think he is in the room and coming up with these ideas. like obviously there are going to be other parties involved, but I think that he is heavily involved in a way that like other artists might not be in their brand deals.
Got you.
Like
Okay,
even down to the McDonald's commercial, like with the action figure, like Chase B did the music. That's his you know what I mean? Like
right.
that was all
Right.
he orchestrated that.
Yeah. I say good job, and just say that you like marketing and branding, or figure out what it is and even expand on it. Or maybe don't, because whatever you're doing is working. So, but just don't say I don't like marketing.
And also he's built his brand on kind of being a bit of like a contrarian. So I'm like, maybe it's a bit of that too. It's just like, oh no, I'm anti-establishment, like for the sake of saying that.
Yep. Let's keep talking about some artists. So we all know the mogul, who is that of His Royal Highness Sean.
It's
Sean
all of that.
Carter.
I mean,
he is, because Beyonce is his wife, and she is our Majesty.
Okay, but just like Prince Phillips,
you can't say
is not the king.
Rest in peace.
You can be married to the queen and not be the king.
That's true. But, for the sake of my intro to Jay-Z, I think it's befitting. So I was on Instagram and I saw, it was either Shade Room posted, or I was on LeBron James's Instagram and I saw that he had gotten this package, and it was a Duce limited edition 1969 anniversary collection. And I am a big geek for these like seating kits or marketing kits that are sent out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the packaging and the aesthetic and the unboxing for me. I don't know why that is something that just gets me going, but it does. So I saw that he was unboxing. He was like, got this from the homie Jay-Z. And in it was the box. And you open it up. Amadia put the placements in here so I don't have to describe it. But the Duce was like in this diamond shaped canister, and around the neck of it was like gold plated, actual real gold. And I think there's only 285 bottles of this limited edition cognac that was bottled and created. And they auctioned the first bottle, and it auctioned for $52,000. And all of the proceeds of these 285 bottles are going to the Sean Carter Foundation to do whatever they do with the organization. I haven't read into that, but it's being donated to, some type of cause.
But how many of them are being sold, though, if he's gifting them to people? Like LeBron didn't pay for that. So where are those what proceeds?
I have no idea. I know unless Jay-Z was like, here, I'll just make sure that y'all got it covered or whatever. Because you would have to assume that a couple of those are reserved for his friends and family. But I thought that this was cool to raise, just because of how we've talked about Beyonce and what she's done with the Ivy Park drops and the seating kits and things of that sort.
Well, Michael, when you sent it to me, I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. This is cute. I mean, and maybe it's because like a lot of what I do is like seating and stuff like this. I really wanted to find out from you, because obviously the packaging was amazing. The unboxing, it was like an experience. You had to unbuckle it from like all four sides, and then the presentation in that diamond, bottle, whatever. And then there was the exclusivity of it. There's only 280 bottles. And it seemed like, it was, whether it was or was not, it seemed like it was direct from Jay-Z to LeBron. Right. So what part of that would you say was the most impactful to you? Was it the packaging, the who it came from, the exclusive, like what was it?
I think it's all of those things combined and tied in together. So for one, you have Jay-Z, you have LeBron James, who are two individuals who are at the absolute top of what they do. And then you have the brand, and that is owned or partially owned by Jay-Z, that is Duce. This is a limited edition drop. So I think for the average consumer, it's like, I definitely can't afford that. I'll never well, I don't want to say never. I don't want to speak that over anybody. But, you know, most of us will not spend $12,000 because that's what it's going to retail at various stores on this particular limited edition, but you can go and get the regular Douce. So I think that while this is kind of like, you know, hey, let's get eyes on this. I think this is cool. It's not a marketing ploy in the sense of, oh, people are going to want this $12,000 bottle. But I think it does continue to push the brand overall, Douce, forward.
Yeah. And I mean,
but as far as impact, I don't think there is any real impact outside of just awareness.
Well, yeah, and I think that you know, to your point, yes, a lot of people are not going to run out and buy this $12,000 bottle. They will buy the little $50 bottle, whatever.
Why gotta be little? Why gotta be little?
Not,
$50 bottle. That can be a stretch for people.
Okay, but compared to 12,000, it's little. It's your little bottle. Enjoy. But I think that, you know, also the fact that like a lot of the time these celebs get seating kits all the time. LeBron isn't posting every package he gets. So for him to post this one, you know, it's because of his relationship with Jay-Z, honestly.
I also don't think that he gets $12,000 seating kits either. I think it was the exclusivity of this. Maybe so. You're right. Yeah. Okay.
I think people spend a lot of money, but like if there's no name attached to it, or you know, you're not as fond of the brand, you know what I mean? Like
or it's just the brand sending it, and it's not
exactly.
Big homie sent this.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's why when you sent it, and I was just at first I looked at it and I'm like, oh, okay, it's a seating, and then I'm like, no, LeBron doesn't post every seating. So like, what is it about this one? Why did the Shade Room pick this one up? And I think to your point, it was all of those elements working in concert. So yeah, I mean, it looked cute. I want one. I don't have $12,000 though to spend on that.
You know, I just need people to start sending me seating kits. That's all I want. I just want to be on the list. How does one make that happen, Janelle?
Yeah, but I want to be on the right list because some people just send out any old thing. And I'm like, I don't have space for all that nonsense. Sorry.
You are absolutely correct. All right. So next on the list, we're going to stay in the artist vein. This came out a couple of weeks ago, and I know that I think I sent it to you via DM. But Kanye and Walmart battling it out over this logo. So recently, I think Kanye submitted for a new logo for Yeezy, I believe it is. Mm-hmm. And it's like this dotted looking star or asterisk mark. And Walmart came out to say, you know, wait a minute, hold your brakes, pump your brakes. This looks a little bit too similar to our logo, which is like this spark. It's just lines. And I think when I sent it to you, you were like, this is a stretch, right?
Yeah.
I feel the same way as well. But Walmart has claimed that they've tried to reach out to Yeezy and his team to do some type of, I don't know, what do you call it? What do you do? You know, hey, can you not put that out? Negotiation. I don't know how you negotiate a logo. Hey, can you add one more? Can you add one more dot?
But see, that's the other thing. Like the other thing, when you sent it to me, like to your point, and the fact that I'm sitting over here defending Kanye, like it's kind of crazy. But when I looked at it, I'm like, I don't see the similarity. The Kanye one, it's dots. There are it's either two more or two less kind of like arms on this like thing than the Walmart one. The Walmart one is a straight line in yellow. His, you already know, it's going to be black and white, it's going to be earth tones or some shit.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like they're just trying to attach their name to something buzzy and press worthy right now is what it felt like to me.
Yeah, I feel like it's such a reach and a stretch. They said that the Yeezy application is confusingly similar to Walmart's well-known Spark logo design. And that Walmart's attorney wrote a letter to West's attorney earlier this month, and they hadn't heard a reply. So now they have to figure it out. They've actually submitted a formal dispute against the application.
And my thing is like,
I'm
if I
like, this
just
is
saw the Kanye logo, Walmart would not have come to mind at all.
at all. At all. Literally at all. So I'm pretty sure Walmart, whatever they do or try to fight against this, doesn't have a fight. Honestly, these are very two distinct logos. But yeah, I thought it was just worth mentioning because we know logos, it's the center of branding.
Yeah, I don't know. I think something else is up. I think this is a PR stunt because this doesn't make any sense to me.
Has to be. All right, let's talk about your girl, the
Our girl.
Australian Open champion and the reigning US Open champion. That is Naomi Osaka. When I tell you that she is racking up on and off of this tennis court, she said I did not come to play at all.
At all.
And I love it. I'm living for everything that she is doing, both on and off the court. When you think of someone that is in their zone and finding their footing, she absolutely has risen to the occasion and frankly is that girl. Uh, she is now the highest paid female athlete from endorsements,
Wow.
debunking our reigning queen, that is Serena Williams. But recently, the most recent deal is a partnership with Sweet Green. She's one of their youngest investors, and I guess now they sponsor her in terms of everything that she's doing. And with this deal, so she has said that she's always eating sweet greens, especially when she's training. She knows she's into health and healthy eating. So as a part of this sponsorship, they are joining forces to change the way the world thinks of traditional fast food. Osaka said in a statement, as an athlete, what I put into my body directly correlates to how I perform, and eating delicious, healthy foods fuels my daily routine. I'm excited about the work we're going to do together to create a positive impact. So yeah, I'm curious to know what else comes out of this, other than promoting a healthy lifestyle. But Sweet Green had said that all that she was doing around social justice and speaking out really aligned to their core values. So that's the reason why they were excited to partner. And it was a mutual thing through a mutual friend that connected them. I'm like, how does this happen with a brand and an
right.
athlete?
They act like, like they're
somebody got to tell me more than that. But
connecting like two people to date and stuff like, like me and Sweet Green's got a mutual friend. What?
Right. But also I think it's worth mentioning her swimsuit collaboration with Frankie's Bikinis that she just announced on Instagram. And earlier this year, she announced sponsorships and partnerships with Workday, Louis Vuitton, and Tag Heuer, which is the Swiss watch brand. So,
yeah.
Oh, and one other thing. She is launching or expanding her tennis academy that she started in Japan to Haiti and Los Angeles. So that's also happening this year.
Wow.
What is she not doing?
Right. And I mean, when you look at her personal brand, besides winning on the court and then like all that she's done for, awareness around social justice, not social injustice, in the country. And, I think like she's probably on every single brand's kind of like directional partner list. 'Cause like, why not? I think the only thing that might deter them is like the price. The price is going up. But if you got the budget, then get your mutual friend to put you in contact.
Right. I need mutual friends like that. Do you hear me? Yeah. So congrats to her. I love to see her soaring and literally continuing to rise. We're rooting for you.
Yeah.
And next, her former Nike. What do you call that? What would
Former
be the word?
Nike, I don't know, something. I don't know.
Teammate. Anyway, Simone Biles is who I'm trying to get at. Leaves Nike and partners with Gap's female-focused Athleta. This was news that dropped, I believe, also a few weeks ago, that the gymnastics star ends her 6-year relationship with Nike, who is a sportswear giant. She signed with Nike in 2016. And at this point, she's decided to cut ties and move forward with Athleta, which is Gap owns Athleta, and it's their female-focused activewear brand. With this brand, she's getting her own line of athletic wear that is dedicated to gymnasts and, the specific gear that they would need and wear. But this is exciting because I think we talked about before how Nike has not previously or historically, in our opinion, done right by female athletes, especially athletes who then later on become mothers, but in general. And I think these sorts of instances are going to continue to happen as we see across the board that female athletes are it. They're just as much as of athletes as male athletes are. And there
They
has to be
deserve the
parity.
same.
There has to be parity within these brands and the constructs of contracts and what they're getting on the back end. You think about the people who are at the top of their game and what they get as males versus females. It's a huge difference in discrepancy. So I like to see something like this happen to say, hey, we're going to push this forward, and for Simone Biles to be not only the top gymnast, Olympic gold medalist, but a Black female gymnast take this type of move. I think it absolutely gets eyeballs on it. And also brands are paying attention. So these sorts of things has to happen for it to continue to move the needle.
Yeah. And I also think, like, obviously we don't know why she's parting ways with Nike. I mean, I'm going to assume that it's a lot of it is monetary.
That's where it is, where the money resides.
Where the money resides. But I also don't want to believe that Nike wasn't offering her top dollar. She's like the number one gymnast, not only in the country, in the world, and we're in an Olympic year. So that's like, why true. Wouldn't you? Yeah. So it has to be something else other than the money, because like Nike has. You cannot convince me Nike did not offer her the money. And then it's really interesting that this isn't the first story or the only recent story of an athlete leaving Nike. We didn't really talk about it much, but with Kobe's family deciding not to extend their partnership and build his personal brand like independent of Nike, that's a big deal.
That is big. That is huge.
That's a huge deal. And so, like, what is going on that Nike is having a problem retaining top tier talent?
I would almost want to say that may be a one-off because
Kobe?
Yeah, because he's not making that decision, right?
Well, yeah, but it's his family making the decision for, on behalf of his estate.
But do they have the perspective and the inside?
They got the lawyers
and They sure do. You're right.
So something on pay. And again, you cannot convince me Nike was not offering up the crazy bag. So what is it? What lured them away? What are these other, smaller or lesser known brands able to offer that Nike isn't? What does Athleta, outside of like, okay, we're going to give you your own line or whatever. What could they possibly, just because you're just looking at the money aspect of it, what could they offer that Nike couldn't? Or that, like, if you heard what Athleta's offer is and you're like, I never even thought of that. Let me see if Nike can match that. And they said no. What is it? So, I mean,
I don't know.
I feel like something weird is going on over there, and I just want to let's keep an eye on
Let's keep an
who
eye out.
decides to stay and go.
It'll come out. It'll come out, or we'll continue to see this cycle. All right, so that wraps up Above the Fold for this week. Now it's time to get into our game segment.
Yes.
Guess that
Guess that spokesperson.
Guess that spokesperson. And this
Yeah.
week, Janelle, you're up.
I'm up.
And I know you have been excited.
Yeah, I had to go. I had to go pull. I've started a new notebook since then. I had to go find my old notebook and pull up. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what it was. All right.
Oh,
even though I feel like it's really, really, really easy, but
you
we'll
always
see.
say that.
Yeah, I do. Okay, so as we stated, the rules have changed a little bit. So the brand is Yoplait yogurt. Okay. And now I will give you the hints for the spokesperson. So the spokesperson was the first African American woman to win a Tony for Best Actress. For Best Performance by a Leading Actress in a Play.
First
that's number
Black
one.
Woman to win a Tony Award for Best Black Woman. What?
Best Performance by a Leading Actress in a Play. She's the first African American woman to win that.
Best Performance by a Leading Actress in a Play.
Mm-hmm. This person is one of the more popular HBCU grads in entertainment.
Okay.
And she was featured on Solange's last album.
Is it okay, let me do my yes or no. Was she on The Cosby Show?
Yes.
Is she
just guess it.
AKA?
Yes, she is.
Is it Felicia Rashad?
Yes.
I was
yeah. I told you it was going to be easy. Especially because of the Solange stuff. I've been like, there aren't many like unknown facts about her that I thought would have been fair. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't, either it would have been way too easy talking about The Cosby Show, and like also we don't really want to bring that up. But other than Houston and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
See?
Okay, nice. Okay, that wasn't too bad.
Not at all.
One from you. Thank you. Thank you for being gracious. God.
Just remember that. Remember that next time. Just throwing it out there.
I think I have my next one, which is a recent spot. So.
Oh, so you like the recent ones, and that's how you get me. That's how you get me. It's with the recent stuff, because I spend so much time looking for ads for Instagram and like going back in the archive that like I tend to ignore the more recent stuff. But yeah.
All right, so that wraps up the game segment. Now, as we wrap up this show, we decide what we seen or what we talked about that we applaud and say, go on with your black ads, or what we're saying is like, nah, you're missing the mark. There's more to the story here, or whatever, and we say that ain't it. Mm-hmm. This week, I'll let you have the pleasure of going first.
Cool. So I think that for going with your black ads, it's an easy choice here. Naomi Osaka is killing it. I mean, just on our list alone, we got like 5 things, but if you racked up all of her sponsorships, it's kind of crazy. So she's out here killing it, going with your black ads. For That Ain't It, I think I'm gonna go with Nike on this one, and kind of like a lukewarm, like that may not be it, because I think that there's something afoot. Something ain't looking right over there for Simone to leave, for Kobe's estate to leave. I don't know.
Fair. I'm going to go ahead and give With Your Black Ads to Naomi as well. And That Ain't It, I'm going to give it to Travis Scott. I just think you need to figure out what the definition of marketing and branding is, and then
Yeah, we just need to get him a dictionary. That's it.
and then it's lighthearted. It's lighthearted though, but
Mhm.
yeah, you can't say you hate it, and that's
He
literally
just,
what you do and how you show up in the world and in the space.
yeah, he said no marketing and branding, just aesthetics and vibes. Like aesthetics and vibes. Are you serious?
Aesthetics and vibes.
So yeah, I guess that kind of wraps up this week, episode 29 of Witcha Black Ads. Again, happy to be back in a controlled environment because you know how much anxiety I had trying to record in my brother's room, and
Yes,
there was a lot that I couldn't control. So now I feel like I'm back in control and like feeling like myself recording.
Nice. Well, I'll do sign off this week. As always, like us, follow us, and listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts. Like us on Instagram. Not like us on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. And yeah, we'll see y'all next week or in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Bye.
See ya. Bye.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about. God, that's what I'm talking about. It was so black ass. It was black ass.